What's up, boys and no girls? No girls watch these videos. Uh, I'm here
No
with
girls
Logan.
allowed.
No girls. We're gonna be going over some these fucking free agency moves, dude. It was pandemonium in the NFL.
Wild.
We were talking earlier. It's like the craziest both of us remember for sure. So, starting off, I think we should talk about Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Because that's like the most recent when we're making this, and
The
also
Q
to me it's the craziest.
QB.
Here, you cut out. What did you say?
I definitely think there's a time.
Oh man, you're super robot right now.
Am I cutting? Am I cutting?
Yeah, you cutting out real bad. All I heard from that whole
Give
time was you
me.
said QB1.
You go ahead, and then if it starts coming back, once I get home, then
Okay.
I can really
It was
start
actually
talking.
good, like right now, but just when you started talking about the quarterbacks, it was bad.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
No, you're good. We'll see. We'll work with what we can work with. Russ got signed to the Steelers for like what is it, like $1 million, and the Broncos are paying him 30 mil, which is hilarious. And then
Yeah.
Justin Fields got traded to them to the Steelers for a sixth that can become a fourth if he plays, I think 50% of the snaps, which either way is like dirt cheap for this guy that was he the number 3 overall pick? He was top 5, I think, right?
Yeah, in the QB range. I know I was getting them in a few leagues like pretty early,
Mm-hmm. I know he went
and then
first round in our dynasty
and then
startup. Michael took him.
yeah, and then talking about draft. You're talking about draft pick where he was drafted. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. And after the Bears put all those weapons around him, or like they added Keenan
hmm
Allen, they got DJ Moore, and he actually had a really good year. I don't
I
know.
guess they're selling out for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense to help out your rookie quarterback, but they did Justin Fields pretty dirty.
Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, I mean, I think there's several teams that could have used a Justin Fields. Even if he doesn't pan out, they're just like, oh well. But if he does pan out, then
Right.
it's kind of, especially for how cheap that he went to the
Yeah, dude.
Steelers.
Somebody could have given him a fifth round pick, like the Vikings or the Giants or whatever. I mean, I'm guessing those teams are planning to draft somebody. Otherwise, they would have traded for him. But
Yeah.
to add this dude for so cheap and then just say, we're going to give you 1 year. And if you are good enough, we'll rock with you. I think that's such a low risk, high upside trade, even if it's only like a 10% chance or a 15% chance he works out.
Well, how old is Russ right now? He has
I,
to be getting.
I
He has
think
to be getting up there.
33 maybe?
He's not too old. I mean,
35.
Depending on how good Russ is, I think it might be a good move for the Steelers because they could have their quarterback for now with Russ if he can produce, and then Justin Fields can play a couple years after, and they might not have to worry about going and getting another quarterback once Russ is done.
Yeah, and I think that's the idea, but also I don't know, it's just crazy they got Justin Fields for that. And Russell
Yeah,
Wilson, I guess. Like they're both of them so cheap. And one of them's probably going to be on the move this next season again.
yeah, yeah.
Poor Michael, dude. He had both of them.
I'm looking at my QB situation in Dynasty, and it is not looking great.
Yeah, you got Gino and Deshaun, right?
Down Watson, yeah. Gino might not even start next year. But who Seahawks got somebody too. I got Sam Howell.
Yeah, as like a fun little high upside backup. That's a little
Yeah,
scary, right? Because if the Seahawks suck,
yeah,
they're definitely going to put Sam Howell in just to see what's up.
yeah. I might have to really scavenge. Probably make some trades for some QBs this year.
Yeah. I know Michael was talking about even after I saw him yesterday at Carney's. He was talking about how he still didn't even really want to draft a quarterback unless he's at the 106. He wouldn't draft a quarterback unless May or Daniels fell to him, which, I mean, fair
Doubt it.
play, but
Yeah,
that's like a
I
big
don't
move
know.
because you're going to be starting Sam Darnold as his super flex quarterback, which who knows
Yeah,
if
it's
he even is
definitely
the
interesting.
starter. I don't know. But yeah, the Steelers got two guys that hopefully one of them can be real, but I kind of doubt it, to be honest.
You think they're both just mid?
Yeah, I think they're doing the work, right? It's like the waiver wire. Most of the time, the guys you add don't do shit, but sometimes it's like Puka Nakua or Kyron Williams, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, we'll see. At least they both have a team.
that's
Um,
true. At least no one's a free agent.
yeah, because like the plan is presumably that Justin Fields gets the job in future, at least a turn.
Yeah.
Um, next? I was thinking let's just go through the quarterbacks now that we're on topic.
Okay.
Baker, he re-signed with the Bucks for 3 years, I think, on a pretty big money deal for Baker.
Yeah.
I think that's
Close to.
fine.
I want to say it's close to 100 million. Maybe I might be totally way off, but
I'm gonna look. I think you're right though. Like 30, 30
I
million.
could be.
Yeah, 3 years,
Yeah.
100 million.
Yep.
So
No,
33 mil a year. Yeah, yeah.
I like it. I like it. I used to not be a huge Baker fan, but he impressed me last year, and I think he has really good weapons around him. They re-signed Mike Evans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still going to have his number one receiver. He's still Rashad White looked really good last year. I
Yeah.
think I think it's an interesting team.
I think it's really good for fantasy. I can't see them going like deep in the playoffs with Baker, to be honest, but
No, but I think they make a run in that division every year.
yeah, exactly. The division's weak. They have like a real quarterback, a real team. It's better than them just, I don't know, like Daniel Jones or some shit, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, like Godwin could maybe get better. I don't know. They've got a real
yeah,
roster. Keeps
they
the
do.
fantasy weapons relevant.
Hmm.
Um, who's next? Kirk Cousins. This one, it really surprised me. I saw the news and like the smoke that he was looking for a
A
home.
place in Atlanta.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yeah,
whatever. I feel like they say this all the time. But yeah, dude. 4 years, 180 mil. So that's like a lot more than Baker, I guess. I didn't think about it, but
for someone who's had Drake London like 2 years in a row in fantasy, I think that's great for Drake London's
oh
stock.
yeah.
I
Oh
think it's
yeah.
amazing for it that he gets a real quarterback, and hopefully they change the scheme up a little bit and they can run a good offense and not run
Yeah.
the ball with what's his face every time.
Bijan. They've got a stud like great roster, dude. It's
Yeah, they got some weapons, man.
Drake London gets a huge bump. I think in redraft he could even pretty easily be a wide receiver one.
Yeah, I mean he had his big games where I mean he's proven that he can get 10 catches and close to 200 yards if he
Yeah.
gets the ball.
Let's see.
So I think he'll have more of those games this year where he's not as much of a 7 or 20 point scorer.
And then they got rid of Jonu, which to
Yeah,
me, as a Kyle Pitts owner in Dynasty, made me so happy.
maybe they'll actually get him going finally,
Yeah.
but you
And
never
then
know. He
they
could be one of those guys.
right, I mean, that's the danger because there's plenty of like what is his name? Noah Fant.
Yeah,
What the
he
hell
is
does he
like that.
do? And he was like a first round pick as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
until I see it, with Kyle Pitts, I don't know how much I'll really believe it, but we'll
Fair
see.
enough. In redraft, I don't think I'm gonna touch him unless he falls like pretty
Really
late.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm stuck with him in Dynasty though, so I'm excited.
yeah.
Um,
He'll be a fun one.
yeah, man, that's big. They got Mooney too, who I really liked, and he was stuck on the Bears, so that's good.
Yeah, I think with Kirk Cousins, I mean, I think he'll be does he have the potential to be like a Jordan Addison type guy? Get those balls off.
Totally. I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
He had like 1,000 yards as a rookie,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just didn't do shit for
With
2 years.
was that a rookie Justin Fields as well,
I don't think so. I think that was the year before.
or
Maybe
that was whoever they had at
maybe
QB
Andy
before
Dalton
Justin Fields?
or yeah, like
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first year with Mooney, they
Big
just
Mitch, he's
ran the
on the move
ball
too.
a crap ton. Who?
Yeah, Mitch. I don't mean to jump ahead, but
No, no, you're good.
Mitchell Trubisky.
I didn't even write him down, to be honest. What team is he on? The Bills?
I think he were. Yeah, I think he went to the Bills.
Yep, he's on the Bills. 2 year, 5 mil.
Yeah,
That's a backup contract if I've ever seen one.
yeah. Well, with Josh Allen, hard not to.
Right, maybe he'll develop
I
and
would
be really
say
good as a backup.
decent backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last quarterback I have written down here is Sam Darnold to the Vikings. And I mean,
Do the Vikings draft, or did they finally give
you
Sam
have to
Darnold?
draft
I mean,
somebody, right?
Sam Darnold.
They have
Yeah,
two first round picks as
Sam.
well.
Sam. He looked. Didn't he look decent this year?
Yeah, no, he did look decent, but I feel like why would you not draft
Mhm.
somebody if you have two first round picks? Or
Well,
like worst case you
yeah.
take like Michael
What picks
Penix
do
in the
they have?
second or the third. Um I'm just checking right now, but I think one of them's kind of early. One of them's in the 20s for sure. They have the 11th and the 23rd overall pick because they made that trade with Houston. It was kind of that weird trade where Houston got 2 seconds for their first round pick. But yeah, like pick 11, you could definitely draft. I don't know if they like JJ McCarthy and they think he's legit. I think you got to take your shot on your guy, right? Hello? Well, I don't know where Logan went, but I'm gonna power through. I think yeah, if I'm the Vikings, I would definitely draft a quarterback. I think there's a lot of smoke about JJ, and I think people really like him. If he went at 11, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know how good he's gonna be, to be honest. But he didn't get to show a whole lot for the for Michigan. He has to throw the ball like 25 times a game, and they won a lot too. So at least you know you got a guy that won't screw up a good thing. And then even still, they could package something together to try and get up into the Drake May or Jaden Daniels sweepstakes as well. I wouldn't be surprised if like the Patriots traded down. Their roster does not seem ready to put a quarterback on it that could actually contribute to winning. I don't know. We'll just have to see though. So yeah, I mean, Darnold in Dynasty as a guy that could be a starting quarterback, definitely worth an ad. Good on Michael to add him, but I definitely think the Vikings draft somebody. Maybe a Bo Nix or, there's a couple pretty decent late round prospects. Or late, like early prospects. Like Nix or Penix that could also just hopefully slot in and be pretty good. Okay, next. I'm gonna look into the wide receivers, and we covered a couple already, just because it's only natural you talk about the situation. But first we got Michael Pittman. He's a G. He went to the Colts. He re-signed. Yeah, Logan, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. I'm gonna I'm gonna leave and rejoin the Discord real quick. Technical difficulties. Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, what's
Hello?
up, Logan? Yeah, that fixed it.
Okay. Yeah, I just had to leave.
Could you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you the whole time. I was like,
Okay.
hello?
My bad, bro. I got done with Darnold, if you heard.
Yeah,
I think Michael Pittman to the Colts. That's a great deal, to be honest. Just get a guy that's
yeah.
like a really good player, lock him in.
I think him and Richardson could be very good for a couple years to come.
Definitely. I think Michael
I'm
Pittman's
excited to see.
AR.
I'm
Definitely,
excited.
bro.
I'm excited to see Richardson play a full year if he can stay healthy. That is.
For sure. He's freaky, dude. Freaky, freaky,
Yeah.
freaky. He's as
hmm
big as Cam Newton and literally just faster, which is so crazy.
Everyone said I was stupid for wanting him to go to the Texans if they didn't get
Oh,
Stroud or Young.
that's funny. I
I
wanted
was
to draft AR over CJ Stroud, but I would have made a
I
mistake.
personally I personally wanted them to go like get Will Anderson before a quarterback and then get like Anthony Richardson in the second round or something.
Oh
But
yeah,
they decided they wanted to do that and go get Stroud, which I was completely fine with.
Anthony Richardson
And
did
looking
not
back,
make it near the second round.
oh yeah, I know that. But
No, you're good.
I think we had a late first before we traded up.
Yeah, that
That was
sounds
so
right.
yeah, but
No, the trade definitely worked out. Like, good on the Texans GM. He found two studs for sure.
mhm.
And oh yeah, like yeah, Michael Pittman. I think it's like a no-brainer. Just get a stud, great hands,
Mhm.
gotta get open. Need that.
Fairly good at staying healthy.
Yeah. Next on my list, I've got T. Higgins, which is a weird one for sure. He got tagged by the Bengals, and then he
And then
requested a
requested a
trade.
trade.
And I feel like when someone requests a trade like this, like I feel like he's definitely after the bag. But
Yeah, I feel like you might have to take a little less of the bag
yeah,
to
but
get.
like Marquise Brown ended up on a 1-year deal with the Chiefs, and I thought he would go after the bag too. So I don't know. These guys could be trying to get like a prove it deal and win and be really good for like a
Uh,
winning team, and that wouldn't
yeah,
surprise me.
earlier, or I guess it was last night. They said the Texans would have interest in trading for T. Higgins. So
Right. The Texans have been rumored for like everybody, which is kind of cool.
yeah, I guess it's good to know that we have a hand in everything, even though there's
Right.
some people that we missed out on. But
Trying to make moves is always good because you think you can win. Is my thought process.
I don't know. In my opinion, I will as a Texans fan, I wanted us to go after for sure number one wide receiver because I think like we have Nico and Tank who are obviously great, but they're not like the top elite receivers that you think of, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like T Higgins will kind of be just getting another one of those guys, which could be really good. But personally, I would like to see him go and get
I don't
like what
like
the
the
Bears
fit,
did
to
with
be
like a
honest.
Keenan Allen.
I think T.
Yeah,
Higgins and Nico Collins have like too similar of skill sets. If anything,
yeah,
Nico's I don't know, like he's a little bit of a better separator in my opinion, and T. Higgins is a better jump ball player, but I don't know.
yeah. I was really hoping that they would go for like a Mike Evans or something, get like that veteran, like elite wide receiver guy. But
Sure.
I definitely wouldn't be mad if they went and got T Higgins. It would be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's like so hard to predict someone like that as well, because he could go to any team that needs a receiver. Like if he went to the Jaguars, I wouldn't be surprised, or the
hmm
even the Chiefs as well, or Carolina, or I don't know, like so many different teams.
Yeah,
Yeah. Next, I have Mike Evans, back to the Bucks.
good on him for getting the bag.
Yeah, he got a fat check, and
I mean, it's hard.
I think it's just like
It's hard
status
not to pay
quo.
him.
Right. I mean, he's been balling for so long. He's Mr.
Yeah, I mean,
Consistent, but it's like
yeah,
a
over
Pro
a
Bowl
thousand
receiver.
yards. Like, no, 100%. I'm happy he got paid.
Uh-huh. A&M fans, of course, but He's worth the money for sure.
Yeah,
Next, I have Marquise Brown. This was a cool one,
that one could be
honestly.
fun.
Let
Yeah,
me. I don't know how much money he made, but either way, he's at worst the I don't know, like the second and a half best receiver, or like the 2.5, 2A, 2B with Rashi Rice in that offense.
yeah. I think that makes the Chiefs just that much scarier, to be honest.
Definitely. And they got a guy that's like a real field stretcher too, which is
Hmm.
they've been needing. $7 million. Yeah, that's so cheap. That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. Especially for a guy who's like a year removed from, or 2 years removed from being a really good player.
He could have gotten like 20 mil a year from the Panthers or something. Calvin Ridley got 20 mil a year. I think Marquise
Calvin really
Brown's
got a bag.
yeah, I think Hollywood's better than Calvin Ridley if he could stay healthy, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's really good, honestly. That's like super exciting. He's gonna shoot up in like redraft, draft
Hmm.
position, and be
I
well,
might have him in Dynasty. Or I did at one point.
somebody does. He's gonna
Let me see.
be like a wide receiver two flex for this year, you would think. And if somebody gets hurt in front of him between
Yeah,
Kelsey
it's
or
big.
Rice, he's gonna be just locked and loaded stud.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, I do have him.
Nice. Good for you.
That's big.
It is big. I've said my piece on him. You got anything else to say on Marquise?
Uh, I think that not necessarily on Marquise, but the Chiefs now. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has three good targets with Kelsey, Rashi, and Hollywood, and then what's his face is turning out to be a damn good running back.
Yeah, dude. Pacheco's a stud. Hopefully he doesn't
Yeah,
fumble
so
like he
I
did in the
think
Super Bowl, but other than that,
yeah, I think they could be like again very scary.
dude, yeah, they got to be the title favorites for the three-peat, which is crazy.
Last year I wasn't big on them. Like I didn't think they were that good just because of lack of receivers. But
hmm
it kind of
They find a
Rashi
way.
broke out.
Great
Rashi broke
defense.
out, and then yeah, they did lose a few pieces on defense though, but they locked up what's his name
Chris
Chris
Jones.
Jones.
Yeah. They draft really well as well, but we'll
Yeah,
see. Like they could draft another receiver. It wouldn't surprise me if they drafted like Xavier Worthy or Brian Thomas or
yeah.
somebody fast.
Breaking news: the Chiefs are good again.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah,
one more thing. Marquise Brown left the Cardinals, so now the Cardinals receiving room pretty decimated.
wide open.
So to
Yeah,
me, this screams Marvin if he's there, and if not Marvin, then Neighbors. What do you think?
yeah.
Is that your order as well? You have Marvin then Neighbors, or is Rome number two?
I think I have Marvin and Neighbors. I think it's like 1A, 1B with me with him and Neighbors. 'Cause I think Malik Neighbors. Like I watched him more in college
He's
than
twitchy,
Marvin.
bro.
He is
He moves
good.
like I don't even know, like Jamar Chase-esque, like just
Yeah, yeah.
so quick,
And
so fast.
I think I watched Rome a little bit more than Marvin Harrison, which is weird, but
Yeah, I
I
didn't
mean,
watch much Marvin to be honest, but
me neither. I just kind of like went with the hype and like, all right, yeah, he's gonna be number one guy.
sure,
But yeah, I think it's a great wide receiving class coming in.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, dude, yeah, like it's such a great offensive class. Like the three quarterbacks between May, Daniels, and Caleb are all supposed to be really good. And then
Running backs are a little weak.
yeah, but I guess that's fair. Like for fantasy, there's probably only going to be like a couple that are really relevant, but you
Yeah,
never know. So there's always
never know.
some surprises. But
Yeah,
okay, I'm looking at the Cardinals depth chart. Their top three wide receivers are Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, and Chris Moore. And then I guess Trey McBride's probably their number one weapon.
what happened to Rondell Moore? Is he
They
still there?
they
Or did
traded
he?
him the other day to the Falcons, or
Hmm,
he either
interesting.
got traded or signed. But yeah, so
Interesting.
it's like wide ass open. It's just Trey McBride pretty
Yeah,
much, and I guess Michael Wilson, who was a
yeah.
second round pick last year, but he didn't look
I
amazing.
would I would expect a big rookie year from somebody, especially with Kyler being back.
Kyler's really good, dude. He was like the front runner for the
Yeah,
MVP 2 years ago before he got hurt, and
yeah, you could have another like Jamar Chase type rookie season from out of somebody there,
definitely, I think
just
Kyler's good enough
putting
to.
up over 1,000, probably say over. I honestly have no clue on the TD range, but we just have to see.
Okay, question for you. If Marvin Harrison got drafted to the Patriots and Malik Neighbors went to the Cardinals, who would you rather have in Dynasty?
Probably Malik Neighbors,
Yeah? I mean,
because that means the who would the Patriots be rocking as a quarterback?
maybe they draft somebody in the second, like Michael Penix or Bo Nix falls
That,
to
that's
them at the top of
that's
the second.
true.
But
That's
yeah,
true. I
or
just I keep hearing that they want Jaden Daniels or whatever, and I just but I think I'd still rather have Malik Neighbors with Kyler at
instead
QB,
of, yeah, like it's, yeah, their roster's
rookie or
toast,
a
man.
bad backup. Yeah, and they don't have. I mean, I was about to say they don't have weapons really around them, but I mean, so does the Cardinals don't have much weapons around them either. So they'd be a
Yeah,
clear number one either way.
that's a
The Patriots are interesting fantasy wise this year too.
yeah, because they're gonna
They're
be
really
stinky, dude.
they're they're really shitting on Ramondre's stock,
hmm
getting
Gibson.
Antonio Gibson. Yeah, and still having Zeke, bro. Three backs that are probably all three going to touch the
I
ball.
think Zeke's a free
It's,
agent.
I thought they signed him to a 2 year deal. We looked it up the other day. Last year they signed him to a 2 year, I think.
I'm looking it up.
We were talking about this the other day, and I'm pretty positive he's on like a 2 year deal.
This says he's an unrestricted free agent.
No, I
I
might be,
remember
I
him
might be
getting
wrong
a
in there.
2 year deal though, so I don't know. But
He
this,
might
like,
he might have had a opt out maybe or
yeah,
something.
maybe he got bought out or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that could be. I'd rather have it Ramondre and Gibson than Ramondre and Elliott. I feel like Elliott vultures a little bit more.
Definitely, it's the bigger back.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, let's move on. We got Keenan Allen to the Bears for a fourth rounder. That's so
Honestly,
sexy for the Bears, dude.
though that was honestly my most surprised trade of the
Yeah,
or
that blew
yeah
my mind.
trade of the free agency so far.
Mr.
That was
Charger,
wild.
dude.
I never thought he would leave,
Me either. That broke my
but
heart, but
it makes the Bears fun though with
so
DJ Moore
good.
and him. And if like, and if Caleb Williams can be what everyone says he can be, then he should be set up. Like there should be no excuse that he has a bad season.
No, yeah, the Bears were 7-10 this past year. That's not bad at
It's
all.
not it's not a Bryce Young situation where you're going into a bad team.
No,
Like
they definitely
he's
have some
going
real
in with some
pieces.
weapons.
Definitely.
So watch out for the fraud alert if he has a shitty season.
He shouldn't, but yeah, I get what you're saying. And they added Swift as well. And for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the Chargers, dude, they're just toasted. What that they
The
released
Lions.
Mike Williams as well.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
just
he
roll
still
right
hasn't
into
signed
that
yet.
because
He hasn't signed yet, has he?
mm-mm, he doesn't have a team. But the Chargers' top three receiver, they have only four receivers on the roster, and the top two are Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnston.
Who else is there?
They have Darius
The
Davis. Played
Donald
for,
Parham.
yeah, Will Disley and Hayden Hurst.
Nice.
I think the Chargers want to run the piss out of the ball, but I definitely would have wanted, like, they
With
have to
Joshua
draft
Kelly.
somebody. Yeah. No, they signed Gus Edwards, and I think they released
Oh,
Josh
that's right.
Kelly.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Gus Edwards gonna have the biggest workload of his life.
Dude, he had 13 touchdowns last year. I really like him in redraft, to be honest, because
Yeah. He'll definitely get the ball. Like I feel like there's not much competition there for him.
yeah, they probably draft somebody as well, but Gus is gonna get a bunch of goal line work regardless of who they draft.
They still have Spiller, yeah.
Yeah, Spiller and somebody named Elijah Dotson and that guy Jarrett Patterson, if you remember him. He played for the Commanders.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a good offensive line. They should be able to run pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, Chargers are looking dusted. Mike Williams could go to like any wide receiver room that needs help. Wouldn't be surprised. I think he'll get some good money, or maybe just a 1 year deal because he's coming off the ACL. But
Yeah, he'll probably get a 1 year deal, try to prove it, and then try to go for it back. But I think Mike Williams is really good. I think,
I think so as well. I think he's better than Calvin, and Calvin got 3 years, 20 million. So
yeah,
he might
I
have to
wouldn't
prove
mind the
it.
Texans making a run at Mike Williams
Oh yeah, that'd be
either.
fun because he's an
That would
excellent
be.
jump ball receiver, dude. He like with the best
Yeah.
in the league. Just throw it up to that guy.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the guy I keep bringing up because I think he's not that great. Calvin Ridley. He went to the Titans for a good chunk of
Mm,
change, man.
I want him to be good so bad. I want him to be really good. I like him.
I think so.
Yeah, me
And
too.
Whoa. What's up, Alex? Little
I
sneaky
guess.
guy.
No,
Yeah, I want him to be good
I
as
want him to
well.
be good.
He's on the Titans, and
And
I have Will Levis. What were you gonna say, Logan?
yeah, the Titans should be interesting if they can make him. I mean, how comparable is Calvin Ridley's game to AJ Brown? Do you
Oh,
say?
I think like almost not at all.
You don't think so?
No, Calvin Ridley is definitely more of a separator, like just pure, like little nuanced route running, and not that great of an athlete. And AJ Brown is all like get him on a slant running across the field, and you throw it to him short, and wow,
Yeah,
that
and let him
guy's like
work.
6'1", 215, and is built like a running back. And
Okay, okay, because I saw a video of someone comparing like AJ Brown, like not keeping him, and to Calvin Ridley, and there was a big debate in the thing in
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
comments of
Like that's
people.
a legit comparison because you'd way rather have
Yeah,
AJ Brown for like a similar contract. But
yeah,
I mean,
and people were comparing Calvin Ridley. They're like, oh, if you think about it, it's really not that different. And I'm like, it kind of is,
yeah, they're vastly
but
different players. But
I don't know. I kind of, yeah,
you got
I
Nuke and him.
think,
Sorry.
yeah, I think they pay too much for him, but they do what they do. You know, they're
Sure.
making moves.
They got a rookie quarterback. They can afford to pay him for a little bit.
Hmm.
And they could maybe cut him in the last year. I'm looking at his contract. He's only 5 million dead cap. So if they cut him in the last year of the deal, they only
They saved
eat
some.
5 million. Yeah, they save 15
Yeah,
mil by doing that.
yeah.
And he'll be 33
No,
that year, so who knows if he's
I
still that good.
forget how old he is.
Yeah, he's so old. I think he was like a 24 or 25-year-old rookie. And then he sat out
Yeah,
that year because he got suspended that year, and then he sat out another year. He's a weird guy. He was like legitimately close to having a great season for the Jags though last year. Like so many plays where he didn't get both feet in bounds or
drop the
whatever.
pass.
Yeah, I don't know. And he just needs to get right too. Like I bet he was so rusty.
Yeah, I could see him being good. I
Right.
want him to be good
I think
because
so.
I was very big on him last year.
Me too. I yeah, and him and Hopkins, I mean they're both pretty old and slow, but maybe the Texans draft somebody or the Titans draft somebody fast and that's a pretty good
Yeah.
room. You know, you got two guys that are great at getting open and one guy that can stretch the field.
How do you feel about Pollard going to the Titans?
I think that's, I mean, it's like rookie quarterback. Just get the whole team around him as good as you can, and you can spend a little bit. But I think it's
I was kind of
fine.
excited to see. I was kind of excited to see what Spears did this year without Henry, but
I
now
was as well.
Pollard
But yeah, Tajay, he's that's just that build where it's gonna be really hard for a team to actually
get him just a
trust
single
him
back. Yeah,
to do that. Like 5'10", 200. That's not small, but that's definitely not like 20 touches a game
no,
type build at all.
yeah, He's not Derrick Henry. It's hard to replace when you're running the ball
And he'll
25 times with Derrick Henry in a game. And
right. He was legitimately getting like close to 50-50 in the snaps with Derrick Henry in some of those games as well. And I think he'll just eat more into Tony Pollard than he would Henry, but I think it's a good
yeah,
signing. Like,
yeah,
what was it,
I
like
agree.
8
I
mil
think
a
as a
year or
football,
something? That's not bad at all.
yeah. And then I don't know. We can talk about that later if we get to it.
Yeah, no worries. We gotta hurry.
Yeah, no, I don't want to take too much time. We
We're
have
good.
stuff.
Next we got Mooney. We talked about it a little bit. We think he's a stud. I think we're pretty in
Hmm.
agreement on that.
Yeah,
It's good. He's a great field stretcher. Gonna be fun for the Falcons. You got
yeah.
anything else?
I was gonna ask your opinion on the Cowboys and their lack of free agency and what you think they're gonna do and with their like running back situation. You think they're gonna rock Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn all year, or what are they gonna do?
Um, Whoa. Is Rico Dowdle a free agent? He's not listed on their depth chart. I gotta Google it real quick.
Oh, maybe not.
Because the top guy on the depth chart was Deuce Vaughn. But, I mean, they could, honestly. I think people are kind of forgetting that running back doesn't matter. But, honestly, it's fine. Either way, I think Cowboys fans just want to complain. Just so they can complain.
Yeah. I feel like it would be hard to go from like, all right, Zeke, he was at one time elite, and then Tony Pollard is like, oh, we just found our running back for the next 5 years because Pollard is looking significantly better, and then he had a down year last year,
Yeah,
and
Dowdle
then
is a
they're
free
like,
agent.
interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I get where you're coming from. It's more so the fans just wanting a name that they know. But
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think a lot of that attitude is kind of dumb. Like, let the people that actually know what they're doing make the roster.
Do it. Yeah,
And then they could totally draft somebody in like the fifth round that comes out, and you're like, oh my goodness,
does good.
this guy's so
Yeah,
good. And I'd never heard of him, like Isaiah Pacheco or whatever.
yeah. No, I agree.
And yeah, I mean, that's definitely where it's headed at this point. Maybe they bring back Dowdle on a cheap deal or something just to get some more people that know the scheme in there that are decent. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun. It's running
Yeah,
back. Um, Next I got Deontay Johnson to the Panthers. This was kind of crazy to me.
Panthers. Panthers are. I guess they're trying to get away from the. They really want to see what
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young is like with some weapons, man.
And I respect it, you gotta commit.
Yeah, you can't. I feel like some teams sometimes they won't put weapons around their quarterback because they don't want it to look like it's the quarterback's fault.
Yeah,
And they're like, all right, we're going to hang on to this guy for 3 or 4 years and not have a good team and kind of see if he can take that step and make a bad team good, which is hard to do. Not everyone's Patrick Mahomes and can make like mid receivers look good. But yeah, I think they're like, all right, we're going to try to see what the number one pick looks like with a good team around him. And they're getting some good names.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and Bryce Young just needs people that can get open, man.
Hmm.
You can throw with
I mean,
anticipation really well, but it's hard to throw with
he even looked,
anticipation when someone's not open.
I mean, for the first half of the season, him and Adam Thielen were tearing it up.
Yeah,
Like, and I'm not saying Adam Thielen's a top 20 wide receiver in the NFL.
he's a
But
really good slot receiver. I'll give him that.
yeah,
Still,
yeah, but to show even just like the slightest of upside with that, like in that situation he was in, it's kind of
totally.
makes you excited for what they're doing this year.
Definitely. I think that's a great move. And they didn't give up a whole lot for him. Um, yeah. Okay, next one I have Jerry Judy to the Browns. Duty Judy. Um, this was crazy. He was so bad for the Broncos for so long. I felt like he was there for forever, but it was only 2 years.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know what to think about him because from from like a standpoint of an athlete, I know that like certain places just aren't the right fit and you can't perform in certain places. but I feel like he would have had some type of success, you know?
Yeah, he like, I mean, he wasn't horrible as a rookie, 900 yards, but
Yeah, but I feel like there would have been at least some consistency there. Like he was pretty much unstartable last
yeah,
year.
and they were a bad team and they didn't throw the ball well, so like they can. I feel like people have always thought he's good, but I don't know. It definitely
Yeah,
didn't show on the field, and as a receiver, that's just hard to do.
yeah. Especially being, I mean,
I think
Sutton definitely the number one there was the number one there, and but I think they're really expecting Judy to kind of become the number one.
yeah. I mean, I think this is good. Like Marvin Mims as well. They got rid of the guy who was starting in front of him, which makes me really happy. But
Yeah,
the Broncos need a quarterback too. They have Jarrett Stidham, who looks like he might be the starter right now. I
did
think
they
it's.
not sign somebody?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's really good for Jerry Jeudy just to get a fresh start. To be honest, because I think
Yeah,
he definitely can be better than what he was in Denver. And
and he's going
Deshaun,
to a good team.
yeah, they're gonna
I think
win.
the Browns are a lot better
Like a
of a
winning
team.
culture.
He
I
might
think, yeah, he needs to be on a team where someone will
he's
tell him to
motivated
shut
and
the hell up,
working.
Jerry, you little shithead.
Yeah,
Come to work.
yeah,
Quit bitching. Hopefully, if he comes here and he's complaining about not getting the ball and shit, he might be toast, to be honest. Because I don't think he's good enough to be complaining about
yeah.
all
I
that
don't either.
stuff. But we'll see, and good for him. It's definitely better than rotting on the Broncos and being mid.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna bite on him in any leagues, but whoever takes that chance could pay out a little bit.
Totally. And like, I don't know, maybe Deshaun Watson, he looked really good his last game where he played. I
Yeah,
remember that. And then he got hurt.
maybe with the season under
Right, and same deal. He was really
season back.
rusty. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know. There's definitely the narrative where
I mean,
Deshaun Watson's great, and then Jerry Jeudy all of a sudden is really good, and
not too long ago, he was leading the league in yards. I mean,
yeah, MVP
with
candidate with the Texans for sure.
yeah, and he didn't have. I feel like he might have more weapons now with Amari Cooper and Jerry and Njoku than he did with just DeAndre Hopkins. Really,
Definitely.
I mean, I guess he had like a Will Fuller back in the day, but
I mean, Jerry Jeudy might be better than Will Fuller,
yeah,
plus Njoku, plus Nick Chubb, and yeah,
yeah,
there's definitely the narrative for huge bounce back from the Browns and Jerry Jeudy.
yep.
I'm done with that. Next, I've got Gabe Davis to the Jags for 3 years, like 10 million a year, which is fine. I think it's just fine for
Yeah,
11 mil.
The Jags, they'll have their three wide receiver twos on the field at one time, and
Yeah,
they don't
Gabe,
have a true number one
he's
guy.
fast. He's inconsistent. I think he fits really well with what they like. A
Cal is the worst Calvin, really.
little bit.
Different player, but consistency wise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it's fine. Like worst case, you leave Zay Jones after like a year and you get Gabe Davis. I don't think he's gonna be that relevant with Jacksonville.
Yeah, Christian Kirk, the number one receiver there now.
Yeah, and Christian Kirk's definitely like a rock solid wide receiver too, barring them making another move, I'd say. And
Yeah,
the year when the Jaguars were actually really good, they didn't have Calvin Ridley. It was Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram that were just running shit. So maybe they like that more, not having to worry about trying to feed some number one receiver. Who knows? I don't know. That's fine with me.
yeah,
Um, Next we kind of got some more scrubby guys. We got Odell and Tyler Boyd still haven't signed. They'll be fine,
yeah.
like
They'll.
a good wide receiver three, whoever signs them.
Yeah, I think some team that probably wants to make a push towards a Super Bowl will try to pick those teams up or those
Hmm.
guys up like as just back end receivers that have experience and have been both to the Super Bowl and
Yeah.
something like that.
It'd be weird to see Tyler Boyd not playing for the Bengals. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
He's been playing there like close to 10 years, it feels like, but I don't know. I think, I don't know. I hope he goes back to the Bengals and just be is a nice three for him, but we'll see.
yeah.
And the last wide receiver I have on here is Kendrick Bourne, 3-year cheap deal with the Patriots. One of
Yeah,
the warm bodies they have out there. He's actually pretty
right
good.
on, right along Juju and
Demario
whoever else they
Douglas.
have.
Pop
Demario
Douglas.
Douglas. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Nah,
he's fine.
I,
He's like a good player.
I have I have no opinions really. I think it is what it is for them.
Yeah, they definitely need some actual studs, but if you can't get a
Yeah,
stud, at least get some people that are good.
yeah. If you
Um,
have someone you know who can catch the ball and will at least
totally.
be serviceable.
Next I have Hunter Henry back to the Patriots. I think kind of the same deal as with what was his name? I just forgot it. It's terrible. Kendrick Bourne. Just like
Yeah,
he's good. He's not great.
you know what you're gonna get out of him,
Yeah,
and it's not gonna be bad. It won't. It's not gonna be game changing, but it's not gonna be bad.
not at all. We got Noah Fant back to the Seahawks. Pretty good.
Yeah,
He's fast. That's about it.
it's, it's no offense.
Right. He's whatever. Like a mid tight end. Then
Mm-hmm.
on to the fun part. To the running backs. Saquon Barkley to the Eagles, man. That blew my mind. Division rival. He was the
Yeah,
number 2 overall pick in the draft for the Giants. Let him walk. That's crazy.
I mean, there has to be a point where you're like, all right, we haven't done anything with them for 4 years. It might be time to just cut it. No
Sure.
need to sign them on a big extension if we know we're not going to put guys around them. It's one of those things. You had to.
I
But
get that,
going to the
but
Eagles is a different thing, you know?
right, that's some rip your heart out shit. He's gonna stunt on you 2 times a year.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think that's what the Giants did. I mean, if you get good players, you got to put other good players around them.
Definitely.
If you
He's gonna be
don't, they're
so
going to
good for
walk.
the Eagles, dude.
Yeah.
He was a RB1 with the
Especially.
Giants, and they were miserable. They had like the worst offensive line in the league, horrible quarterback.
Mhm. I'm 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 interested on how the Eagles are going to run their offense now because they've never really had like a true RB1,
Yeah.
and so a lot of their plays are kind of showed that with the whole tush push and everything. But I think I think they expand their playbook quite a bit.
Dude, they're gonna run the ball, and Saquon's gonna run over everybody, I think.
Yeah, the
Averaging
Eagles are
3.9 a
Eagles are
carry
nasty.
for the Eagles, or for the Giants is amazing in my
I
head.
think I think if Hurts can play consistent quarterback, then they'll be very scary.
I think he's in redraft. He's got to be like a top 5 RB for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Good for Brian in Dynasty as well. Get a big bump on a guy. Couldn't go for a run.
Yeah,
Um, and then the
easy.
Giants side of that, or I guess we're gonna talk about that a little bit later with Devin Singletary, but
Yeah.
they have nobody. It's just Devin
No,
Singletary, and I have the rookie they drafted this past year, Eric Gray, but I don't think either of them are
I,
starter caliber players.
I think
Probably drafting
uh,
somebody if I had to guess.
in Dynasty, I think I kept Drew Lock just in case
Sure,
he ever makes his way into because I definitely need some quarterback help. But
they might compete for the starting job with Daniel Jones. Yeah,
yeah,
they might draft somebody. I definitely
That's
Would think they
that's
would.
also cool.
Like Jaden Daniels or somebody.
Hmm.
That'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah.
Next on my list, I have Josh Jacobs. This was weird too, where he went to the Packers, and then there was Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs for like a couple hours, and then they cut Aaron Jones, and
Yeah. That one's definitely interesting. I'm excited to see what Josh Jacobs does there.
dude, yeah,
Uh, it's I feel like how much were they losing with keeping Aaron Jones? That could have been the best 1-2 in the league if they went through with
yeah,
that.
I think it was like 9 million or something, 10 million, like not a pretty similar contract to what they got out of Josh Jacobs, which is weird, but
And I saw they re-signed AJ Dillon. What are they
eh,
giving him?
like $1 million, I think, not much.
Yeah, so they just I guess they saved a little money on that, but I mean the Packers could be pretty good. Their receivers are really good. Their quarterback's looking to be really good. If they can get a
Definitely.
good run game going, that's healthy.
They're a great team. I think Josh Jacobs for
Yeah,
fantasy is going to be a RB1 at least.
yeah,
He's going to get a chance to punch in a bunch of touchdowns too.
yeah.
Yeah, I have Josh Jacobs in Dynasty. I was very excited when they cut Aaron Jones.
Yeah, no, that was big.
Um, yeah, and then for the Raiders on the other side of it, right now it's just Zamir White on that team as their
Yeah,
pretty much only running back, which he has to survive the draft to actually be valuable, but he definitely could. He looked really good in his little bit he had, and they still are. The Raiders are fucking weird, dude. Devontae Adams
yeah,
definitely should have re-signed with the Packers. He's stuck with like a Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew at quarterback or whoever they draft.
yeah. But they did go get some guys.
Who?
They like their defense. They went and
Okay.
picked up Wilkins, and so
Christian Wilkins. Yeah, yeah.
You got Wilkins, and
Max
what's his
Crosby.
face on the other side? Max Crosby on the sides. Scary D line.
Sure.
Uh, I I haven't looked too far into them, but I've heard they've done pretty well for what
I
they
mean,
have.
yeah, you're pretty
Um,
right. Like they were 8-9 last year with whatever Aiden O'Connell, Jimmy Garoppolo, but I don't see the upside, I guess, from a real life perspective. But
I think they're just missing a good QB.
but yeah, that's the hardest piece to find.
All right. 3 hours ago, uh, Alexander Madison is visiting with the Raiders.
Zamir White's toasted. Alexander Madison's eating his lunch.
Tre'Davious White is visiting with the Rams and Raiders.
He's really good.
Yeah, so there might be a couple moves that they can make, and I mean I don't think Gardner Minshew's a bad pickup either. If he can go in there and have a Gardner year where
Sure.
he's pulls together a good season, especially with Devontae Adams, the best receiver Gardner's probably ever had.
Yeah, they'll be pretty fantasy relevant for sure.
Yeah, I think it could be fun.
Next, I
They have a new.
have. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say new coach. Who knows? They might have a different culture. They seem like they started once they got that interim coach in last year.
Definitely.
They started playing a lot more loose and fun.
I think it'll be more like the midness, but we'll get to see. So that's why they play the games.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Next, I have Aaron Jones on my list, who's gonna go to the quarterbackless
Bye.
Minnesota Vikings. Yeah,
Bye. Yeah.
he's got juice. I like the couple games he was healthy, he looked really good, and then the playoffs he was really good as well for the Packers. But
I've
he's,
always been a fan of Aaron Jones. I think he'll do good there.
I think he's really good. He's just got to stay healthy. So I kind of hope they
But
bring in someone else to share their work with him. But
yeah, it might be a fresh breath of air there because I mean the last couple of years they've been dealing with Madison and Dalvin.
definitely,
That kind of blew up in their face pretty hard. So I think a guy that runs the ball really well, good out of the backfield, catching wise, and scores just scores touchdowns.
yeah, dude, nose for the end zone for sure. Like the Alvin
Yeah,
Kamara skill. Always
Yep,
scores.
yep, yep.
That's fine with me. Yeah, we touched on the Packers backfield already. Next, I've got big man, the king, Derrick Henry.
That one's crazy.
Derrick Henry's 30. That's pretty crazy. He's
I
old.
know.
But
He is old. But
he
they
looked
still
decent.
JK.
Yeah, yeah. Do they have J.K. Dobbins? I thought he was a free agent.
Unless he's a free agent. I'm missing on a lot of these guys that might be free agents.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Yeah, he is.
But they
He
have
is.
Keaton Mitchell for like more of a speed back if they want to bring that in.
Hmm.
And I
He looked good
think
last year.
Derrick
For
Henry's
like, he looked
got to be
very
good,
explosive.
right? At least for a year or
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
He was still good on the Titans, and they had no threats to really throw the ball. So with Lamar in the backfield as well,
Yeah. The read options are going to be crazy.
maybe. I don't, Derrick Henry, I don't think
Yeah.
he's that good. He needs like the head of steam.
Well, can you imagine? Can you imagine being a linebacker and having to read if Lamar's going to tuck it or you might get bulldozed by Derrick Henry?
I mean,
I
I don't know. I still kind of
feel
think the
like
way I think.
scary for a linebacker.
I don't think he gets. I think he needs like
Enough going.
the I formation or whatever, like under center.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that
yeah,
good
yeah.
out of shotgun. I don't know. Maybe I'll get proven wrong, and the read option will kill everybody. But
I was just thinking of it from a linebacker standpoint,
yeah,
having to choose putting your nose down or trying to foot race Lamar Jackson.
for sure. It's stuff like the play action stuff is gonna kill for sure. Because Lamar is such a threat to run off of a play action pass like that as well.
Yeah,
That's exciting, definitely. And he's got like real money, so they're gonna use him and not cut him, which is cool.
yeah,
Definitely could be even like competing for the Super Bowl. They were really good in the regular season. Kind of hard to remember
yeah.
that far back, but they were legit.
Their defense, but they lost a few pieces on defense too.
Yeah, I mean they got
Patrick Queen.
yeah, yeah. I don't think Patrick Queen was too great, but he's definitely a good player.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's a great deal. Good for their
yeah.
offense.
I agree.
Good for Lamar. Good for everybody.
Hmm.
Um, Next I have Joe Mixon, your boy.
I'm excited about him.
If you're his girlfriend, do not stand in his way. He will cold cock your ass.
Yeah, that I remember I used to for like Joe Mixon's first 3 years I drafted him in fantasy and he never became what I wanted him to be. And as soon as I stopped drafting him, I think it was you that texted me or like, are you getting Mixon this year? A couple years ago. And I was like, nah, you can have him. And he ended up that was kind of like his breakout into like being a elite running back.
He's only 27. I feel like I thought he was
I
older.
know.
But
I know. It should be fun. Should add a
yeah,
little bit to the Texans offense for
definitely.
sure.
He's like a really good goal line back. He can catch the ball. You can do a
Hmm.
little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And he should be like borderline RB1 for sure. Like about where he was
Yeah.
getting drafted with the Bengals.
Hmm.
Good for
Texans
him.
would be fun to watch.
Definitely. And we're gonna get to it in like just a little bit, but the Bengals as well, like big hole
Yeah.
that he left. I think
Yeah.
right now it's just Chase Brown, who's the rookie they drafted, who's kind of a
Yeah.
receiving back, and then Zach Moss, who they brought in.
I like Jack Moss a lot,
Me
but
too.
we,
He was
we,
so
we can
good
get
for
there.
the Colts.
We can get there when we get there, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
like him a lot.
That's all I've got on Joe Mixon.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how he does.
Definitely. He's like a good ad.
Hope, hopefully we're not bringing in like too many like I don't know how to exactly describe it, but like I hope it's not a guy like a but I hope they're all there like to play, like not really care about what they're doing, but more of
Sure.
what the team's doing.
And you think he would be good. He was like seemed like a pretty good character
Yeah,
guy on the field for the Bengals. Went to the Super
yeah,
Bowl, you know?
yeah. It's just I feel like a lot of people are young on that team. Like he's definitely one of the veterans on the team, being
Definitely.
27 years old on that offense. So I feel like they're young, and I hope they don't get like young mistakes where they start thinking they're too good or
For
anything like
sure.
that.
And I think Joe Mixon's good for that. Like he doesn't fumble either.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
agreed.
Next I have Tony Pollard, but I think we covered him pretty much. Just like a little sad for Tajay. Thought maybe he would
Yeah,
get all the work, but I think that's fine. I think it'll be good for both of them, to be honest, because keep them both
yeah.
healthy.
I think he's still a good viable option in fantasy, but I don't think he'll go for would James pick him number 2 pick of the draft.
That's crazy, yeah. Yeah, he's like a
Yeah,
back end
redraft.
RB2. Like,
Yeah, I'd say until he shows that like he had the same explosiveness of 2 years ago
hmm
and could potentially get RB1 touches, then I think until then he's more of a back end RB2 guy.
the Cowboys definitely need to bring in somebody. So with the hole he
Yeah,
left, but we'll see. Next, I have Austin Eckler. This was crazy to me as well.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but like he's getting older, and I don't
He
know if the
looks
injury or
older is the
what.
biggest thing, yeah. I think it was the
Yeah,
injury, at least partially, but you got to prove it that it wasn't the injury as a running back, especially.
yeah, but I think he has a better opportunity of staying healthy with the Commanders with having Brian Robinson.
B-Rob
Or
is more of a goal line
yeah,
back for sure.
yeah, I think it helps him stay healthy and potentially play more games. But I don't think he'll ever get back to the RB1 that he was
I don't
like,
think so either.
even
He could
2 years
definitely be a
ago.
RB2 even with the Commanders. Like if he
Yeah,
gets they draft a rookie or something that loves to dump it off to him,
It'll
he could.
it'll it'll make redraft interesting because I really don't know where to gauge him in drafts. Like for the past 5 years, basically, he's been a top first
Stud.
round
Yeah,
running back, and so it's just gonna be interesting
definitely.
to see where he falls.
Really interesting. Next, I've got DeAndre Swift. I think
Yeah,
that's a good deal. They like run the ball. He was really good for the Eagles. I think he'll be solid, like a good, solid RB2.
yeah. I think yeah. I feel like their running back room is so weird
It's really good,
with
but yeah, it is so weird.
it's Roshan and then Khalil Herbert and Swift now. Like feel like they're going to be it's a lot of people to feed. I feel like there's no way they make someone like where they're not getting a certain amount of
Yeah, they
snaps in a
might cut
game.
one of these guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So that should be interesting to watch out
Or
for
Travis Homer, they might cut him, I guess. Because
because Swift definitely goes to the number one spot in that rotation.
right, but Roshan was really good, and so was Khalil Herbert. So
Yeah.
I mean, Swift
I
gets
guess
like
it's not a bad
50% of the work, 60% of the work, and the other two split the scraps.
I guess it's not a bad problem to have as a team, but fantasy
Mm-mm.
wise, it makes it a little more complicated.
You're right. Maybe I need to downgrade Swift a little bit mentally, but they should be a really good offense. And then, like, if they can throw the
Yeah,
ball well, they'll be able to run the ball really well, and then
like
score
I
some
said, they have the weapons,
touchdowns.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is if I was a Bears fan, this is the most excited I would be in a long time.
Definitely. Um, I'm on to Gus Bus. 2 years with the
Solid.
Chargers. Yeah, I think that's really good. He had 13 rushing
Thank you.
touchdowns last year, and was like just chilling.
Yeah, I think he's a to me right now he's more of like a RB2, depending on what how they use him and what that offense looks like.
Yeah, and if they draft somebody as well.
Yeah, but I think he could be a decent fantasy player this year,
Oh yeah.
especially if it's running majority through him.
Yeah, I mean, they brought in Greg Roman, and I've seen some crazy stats that like I think his teams were either first or second in rush attempts, like 5 out of the
Hmm
6 years he was at OC.
Really?
Yeah, which is insane.
That's, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So it's definitely I would expect them to draft somebody, but if they don't, like Gus Edwards could be insane, like so many
Yeah,
carries,
yeah. He could be the like stereotypical production back where he if you give him 20
Frank Gore.
carries, he could get yeah. Like if you give him enough, he'll put up the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting them those numbers. It might not be pretty. It might be 2 to 3 yards a carry, if that. But
Sure.
yeah,
And then next on here I've got Devin Singletary. Alex, you got anything to say about your boy Devin? If you're still here. That's okay. Devin Singletary.
Hold on. I'm here.
Okay,
Hold on.
okay, okay.
I was out of the app, and so I had to
Hold on.
unmute myself and go back to the app. And
You're good, bro.
I don't know. The thing that's, I guess, reassuring with Singletary is that they gave him like a 3-year, $30 million, so the money's there
Yeah.
for like a commitment,
They gave him real
and so
money.
you feel good about that. I just it's weird trying to prescribe what their draft strategy is going to be and like
Yeah.
who they're going to bring in.
Totally.
mm-hmm.
Kind of just gotta wait and
I
see.
think
Yeah,
I
but
think
I will say the Giants did bring in a lot of pieces on the O line, and so I think that they are trying to
Build it up.
they're fixing some wrongs like in that department, and so it gives me a little optimism for Singletary.
For sure.
I feel like Singletary proved last year that he could be a head back and like handle that workload and have good productive games like he did with the Texans.
Right.
Yeah,
At least he's a guy. Like worst case, he's a pretty good running back.
yeah,
I mean,
and
yeah, I mean,
he's not going to be
they're
working with as good of a quarterback or like an offensive like system or just like the production wise from the offense as he did in Houston, and so that may limit like a ceiling, but
yeah.
I'm going to stay optimistic about him.
Definitely. I think he'll
There's
like even if they draft somebody, I think he's ending up with like 12 or 15 touches a game, which is definitely
Yeah.
valuable in Dynasty.
Well, there's a few games last year that really showed me that if you give him his 20 touches a game, like he'll get you 100 yards and a touchdown
Sure.
in the right situation.
Right.
But
It might be different on the Giants, obviously, but
yeah. But he showed me that he can kind of lead a backfield and be productive, and I think he should have got paid for it.
definitely. That's pretty fair, all in all. The Giants might draft a quarterback, and maybe they'll be really good and help him out, but that's all to be determined. And then last, but certainly not least on my list is Zach Moss, the homie. He was
I was really hoping the Texans would get him.
really that would have been awesome for sure for me.
Yeah,
I'd have loved that.
like I said before Mixon got dropped, I think the quarterbacks or the running backs left were like, I want to say Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and Zach Moss were kind of like the big three at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And as a Texan, I was like, I would rather have Zach Moss personally.
Interesting. He's definitely the most versatile of those three.
Yeah, and I think you get a little more years out of him being a younger running back.
Not as much like wear and tear the past couple of years as well either.
And he looked so good last year before
He had the juice
before he
for
got
sure.
hurt.
I don't even think he
Yeah, I
got
mean,
hurt.
he
I
had.
think what's his name? JT just came back.
I thought he had a little something going on.
Let me look.
It might have been earlier in this season, but I mean, he had at least one 200-yard game last year, didn't he?
Oh,
Unless something big happened.
Zach Moss broke his arm heading into training camp, and then Zach Moss
Oh yeah,
had an arm
it was
injury
great.
in week 15 where he missed the last 2 games.
Yeah. No, he looked really good.
This is a general question, and I don't know if it'll have any bearing on Zach Moss's like fantasy outlook. But did the Bengals hire their new offensive coordinator from within, or did they get an external guy? Because I know Brian Callahan is now in Tennessee.
Dan Pitcher. They promoted him.
Promoted him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I was like, I mean, just with them getting rid of Mixon and
Sure.
bringing in Zach Moss, I didn't know if there was anything to kind of predict what his like workload would be. I know they've got Chase Brown behind him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess
to get rid of
from within's a good sign.
They must really like Zach Moss too to get rid of Mixon like that.
Yeah. Or maybe they just didn't fuck with Mixon, but either or.
Yeah.
Like I think their salary cap situation is pretty tight in general.
Yeah.
Like they paid Joe Burrow all that money. They're gonna have to pay Jamar Chase all of that money.
hmm
I don't know. I think yeah, Zach Moss, great deal, great team to be a part of for fantasy for sure. You have any
Yeah.
notes, Alex or Logan, about all this stuff? I'm pretty done on Zach Moss.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
That was a lot of players though.
No, that's
Definitely.
crazy, crazy offseason.
Crazy. And it's still not quite done. Like T. Higgins might get traded. Couple guys still left to
Mike
sign.
Mike Williams can still sign. I think
Yeah, Mike Williams could go
that's the one
somewhere.
I'm keeping my eye on.
Mike Williams to the Chiefs would be bonkers.
The Chief Killer going to.
Dude, yeah. The draft is gonna be crazy. Like all these stud wide receivers and the really good quarterbacks as well for
Mhm.
Dynasty.
Mm,
Austin Eckler, quote, I'm excited to share the running back room with Brian Robinson.
it's all yours, buddy.
Yeah, man. Are y'all excited for the draft? I guess Logan, you don't have that many picks, but
Oh, the rookie draft.
yeah, the rookie draft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we doing
I
it in
did.
August? Like when we normally would do like a redraft too? Like are we
I would think so, yeah. I've
like
been
kind of like after training camp and all that?
definitely like as late as we can push it for sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking this idea, I don't know if I've told y'all, but it's called a slow draft, where each pick you take like 8 hours, just like to give a better opportunity to make trades and stuff. And if you don't want to make trades, just say fuck it and take your guy, you know? It would
Yeah.
pause at like 10 p.m. or midnight as well, so you wouldn't fall asleep and screw yourself.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think you mentioned it to me and Michael.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if who I told, who I haven't, but I really
Yeah.
like the idea of it because I want to make a bunch of trades. But
Yeah, I remember Michael saying he was kind of against it because he just didn't want to be like sniped, you know.
I mean, I
Michael's
guess,
sitting
yeah,
at I think 6.
yeah.
So Michael didn't want anyone trying to go in before him and sniping him,
Michael,
getting Sony liked. But
you got bigger problems, big dog. You need a quarterback.
yeah, yeah. But also,
I didn't realize like being our first year of Dynasty. I was like, oh, I don't know how big the rookie draft is, but I think it might be a little bigger than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, dude, it feels so big. I'm so excited. I have an
Uh,
early pick
I
too, I
think
guess, but
I think I have like one pick. I think I have like a second round, and that's it. I really don't. I haven't looked at it,
yeah, you
but
have one pick, the 207.
yeah,
You got some like
yeah,
good
it's
guys on your
scary.
bench though. If you wanted to trade into the first, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. I haven't even looked at doing all that. I really like my team right now. Besides the quarterback, I feel like I have some really good young players.
Sure, you have a good team. Nick was talking to me about his team at one point late in the year about your first round pick and how it was going to be good. And I was like, I don't know, man. Logan might like win the whole league. His team's really good.
yeah, Logan, you had
I
what?
just
You had Justin Jefferson get hurt, and that kind of derailed a lot of things, probably.
Right, Rashad White
yeah,
was a stud. Jameer Gibbs was a stud. Jefferson stud.
Oh yeah, see, that's why you don't have your first is because you have Jameer.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And in hindsight, that was a
Yeah,
really good
I feel
trade.
like
yeah,
yeah. Well, I ended up with Kamara, Nico, and Gibbs, and I gave up Mixon, Ayuk, and Mechie,
yeah.
And
hmm
you got back the
and the
second.
first round. Yeah, I got a second for 2026,
That
and
second, that's a
then
steal, dude.
gave up another.
Because
Yeah,
Ayuk is
I think
worth.
Colin.
Sorry.
No, I think Colin and Gibbs are probably the best two players dynasty wise in that draft in the whole trade.
And you got both of them.
Yeah,
Definitely worth giving
and
up
then
the like 108 or 106 or whatever you gave Nick.
Way to
Yeah.
capitalize on Nick's dismay for Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah.
See,
He was done
I
with
was
him.
when I made that trade, I was feeling the same way about him. I was like, but he started throwing in the like Nico Collins, which I mean, being a Texas fan, I was big on him, and yeah, Kamara is always good, even though he's
Yeah.
getting older.
Yeah. Well, earlier in the year, I kind of had the opposite thing. Because earlier in the year, I traded away Montgomery because I was like, Jameer's got to take this role, right? Like sooner or later.
Sure.
And Monty kept on getting touches, kept on getting, some tutties, and just
They
kind of
both,
they split it very evenly and both had success.
I think he'll
yeah.
be a RB2 at least
Yeah.
for a couple years, but let me see that trade with Montgomery because I don't remember that trade.
That was one where I sent Paul, where I got CJ Stroud in his first rounder.
Oh
for,
yeah.
Lamar.
Roshan, Stroud, Calvin, and the 10.
And Lockett, I sent him.
Yeah, that's like not that bad of a trade to be honest. In hindsight,
I
Stroud for
thought
Lamar, it's pretty even.
I appreciated it as the year went on,
Mhm.
especially with the 105 ending up where it is.
Yeah, I think you won,
Yeah.
but it's
What
not
y'all
as
think?
bad as I thought initially.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about the trade me and Noah made? The Terry McLaurin and Pollard for Rashad White and Jalen Waddle.